Hello all, this is Brother Furrow Lupus, an initiate of Satanas in the Brotherhood of Satan. Hail Satan, hail Set, hail Lilith. What I'd like to talk to you about today is the book club that we have on Legion for Satan. That's www.sataniclegion.snapville.com. And please come and join us Sunday nights at 8:30 Central Time for the book club. And also Wednesday night we have a Black Mass, an audio and a video presentation by Sister Bloodlock at 9 p.m. Central Time and at 12 a.m. Central Time. Thank you. What we've been discussing recently on the book club is The God of the Witches by Margaret Alice Murray. Let me give you a little bit of background on Murray. She's an anthropologist, and her writing shows it. She has a very scientific, technical way to approach things, very factual, very, concerned about the historical aspects of what she's teaching. And what she's teaching is the God of the Witches. Basically, a overview, a synthesis of all the cultures throughout history that have worshipped the horned god. This dates back to France in the Aragie, the cave there, and they had wall paintings of the horned god depicting him in the center of dance as a being to be worshipped. From there we go to chapter 1, the horned god. Many may know him as Pan, Baphomet. There are many names, and they all go back to the one source, the horned god who she speaks of in this book. And what she does in this first chapter is basically goes through historical events and historical facts that point to worship of the horned god all over the world, throughout all times, from Paleolithic to contemporary times. And then we go to chapter 2, the worshippers. In this chapter, she goes through the different types of people that have worshipped the horned god, in secret and in public. Just like the Brotherhood, with its ancient roots, have often been secret and are now coming out of the closet to preach Satanism, theistic Satanism, to the world, to let them know of this new Aquarian age. It is noted by Murray that even though the surface religion of certain cultures would be Christian, that beneath the surface there is horned god worship. And this horned god worship, very important to the people there. Sometimes you get demonizing, where you get control of a region, and then the gods of that region are demonized in order to show bad aspects of that god. Like in Egypt, when Set was once a holy god of the sun, turned into a demon by the people that conquered Egypt. Now we have Egypt as a Muslim country, but I believe beneath the shadows, or in the shadows, beneath the surface, we see this horned god worship still occurring today. Chapter 3, we are looking at the priesthood. And this kind of goes through different categories or hierarchy of the worshippers of this horned god. Just like in the Brotherhood, we have our own hierarchy. In the military structure, we have hierarchy. There's hierarchy everywhere, and I believe that brings order to the chaos, which is essential to a balanced life. Because if you're too ordered, then things get too, stale. Like a river that never moves, that just gets kind of overabundant with life, that just sits there. And you need that chaos to cause that energy, that movement, in order to bring the potential to the actual. And the chaos and order balance is essential. And I've seen that through Freemasonry as well as other avenues. In chapter 4, we have the rites that are discussed. Different rites like the baptism, being at birth or through a mature adult. And during these baptisms, one is brought into the fold, you could say. And once in the fold, they are one with Satanas, and we all share souls, and we all believe, and we all dance and sing and be merry, and it's a beautiful feeling. And if you ever have any interest in the Brotherhood of Satan, you can reach us at www.brotherhoodofsatan.com, and you can find the online application there. And for only $66.60, it's a great deal for a lifetime membership. We have many rights, like those discussed in the book, but our own take on them. And these are held each Sabbath, Samhain and at Beltane, our offline festivals. And I've been to 3, and I'd highly recommend going to see them. And I would just go to see Sabbath, our mascot. In chapter 5, we have the religious and magical ceremonies, which are like the rites, but it's kind of not just a one-time thing. I mean, the rites can be done over, like a marriage can have a renewal of vows. The magical and ceremonies can be done over and over to reinforce belief in Satanas. And that's what a ritual mind does, is it focuses your energy into one specific goal. And in doing so, you create as above, so below, and as below, so above. And these words have magical meaning. In chapter 6, we discuss the divine victim, often seen as the sacrifice. If you've ever seen the movie The Wicker Man, the remake, or the original, at the very end of the movie, you will see a representation of this. But nowadays, we see sacrificed, at least in the Brotherhood, as in ancient times in the Brotherhood, as a blood sacrifice or a sacrifice of self being the highest of all sacrifices. And in giving one's life force to Satanas, there is that joining of soul. And it's a beautiful thing. After these chapters, they're a little bit afterwards, she goes into the life of Joan of Arc and Gilda Ray. Gilda Ray being spoken of in Cradle of Filth, and Joan of Arc in the movie The Messenger with Mila Jovovich. And yes, she did hear voices, or a voice from God, and nowadays she'd be labeled as a crazy woman because she heard voices, maybe schizophrenic or something, but, you know, there are magical ways to understand things, and I just like to help open your mind, if it's not already open, to the possibility of a sixth sense of communing with the spirits and communing with others telepathically that I believe in. And that about sums up our book club. Please stay tuned. There will be more books in the future. If you have any suggestions, please come to the site and send me an email, or you can send me an email at Jason, CHLIS, @yahoo.com. For any book club suggestions that you may have, or any suggestions for the site, or just want to chat, just drop me a line. I thank you. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to hear from you again. Ave Set, Ave Lilith.